Welcome to our Juneteenth celebration edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennis Najib.
And right now we're in the city of Hanford. We just got through watching a couple of compelling performances. We had Denise McKendall, who pretended like she was a slave back in 1865, or actually it would be before that, because we had the Emancipation Proclamation, and where that was supposed to be the end of slavery, and where they landed in Galveston, Texas, to be able to tell people about the end of slavery.
Yes, and another thing, we was going into watching the poet and the pain of the poet and all the information that goes into the Juneteenth, where the end of slavery was happening, and getting these pamphlets out here and going also into Fresno and sharing this information as well.
So they did have a nice program. They had, of course, the singing. We always got to have our church background. That's so important.
Yes.
When we look at the culture of African Americans and where we came from, and looking at it was the church that helped to hold us together. And I like that, Lennis, inside of each of the program, they have an excerpt of not only the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation, but they also have information, the history of Juneteenth, which is so important. And we hope that people do not forget that when we're talking about just a little piece of history. And so this celebration, which commemorates the ending of slavery in the United States, dating back to 1865, and it was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were now free. So now this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. So imagine that.
Yes.
Imagine that the Texans, due to the minimal number of Union troops enforced a new executive order, were still enforcing slavery.
Yes, that's one thing. They were still enslaved, but they didn't have the enforcement in Texas to incorporate the domination of what they need to do in slavery.
Yes, I really appreciate Denise McKendall's presentation. We'll be able to see a little bit of that. Also in the program, we do have to talk about some of those news items. Valley Black Talk Radio went into depth about Rachel Dolezal, and this happens to be the, I'll say, the Caucasian lady that portrayed herself as, or identifies with, the black culture. There are definitely some differing opinions on that we'll be able to explore later on in this program. We also talk about the AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, where we call that domestic terrorism, and you had a massacre of 9 people that were killed. And the saddest part is, at the church, in any black church, you can walk into any church and they're so friendly and so welcoming. And this young man that shot everybody in the church sat in the service for an hour. Sat in there for an hour during the prayer.
During the prayer, and just took it upon himself, even with prayer, to destroy and massacre those lives, which is very sad, and I feel sorry and bad for the family involved.
And this is a historical black church. And so also we have our very own Honorable Oliver Baines, who got to meet the president and chit-chat with the president and talk to the president. So we'll be finding out about that as well. And you'll be listening to Valley Black Talk Radio to be able to hear excerpts of that. And so we don't want to take up too much time. We have so much news to cover. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We will be coming back with some shots in Fresno where you can see what's going on at that Juneteenth, the celebration that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. We'll be right back after the short break.
Thanks for putting your recyclables in the blue cart.
And keeping contamination out.
Thanks for using our curbside oil recycling service.
Thanks for putting your carts clear of vehicles, trees, mailboxes, and portable basketball hoops.
Thanks for spacing your carts 3 feet apart.
Thanks for putting your carts back when we're done with them.
We are the City of Fresno,
providing life's essential services.
Have your TV billboard ad right here for just $50 for 4 spots per week. It's a 1-page, 10-second vocal announcement. Just submit your info, just like this ad. Go to amptvnow.com
for more information.
To meet state-mandated water cuts during this drought, we all need to use less water.
Start by knowing your 2 outdoor watering days. Odd addresses on Tuesday and Saturday, and evens on Wednesday and Sunday.
Then, cut your watering times in half. And if you see problems with city sprinklers, let us know.
We're all in this together, and together is the only way we can meet our goal.
So this summer, don't frown on brown, because a brown lawn is a responsible lawn.
A message from the City of Fresno.
And all the earth rejoice, and all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide. They tremble at his voice, they tremble at his voice. It's our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. No, see how great is our God.
Try me on. Stop the conversation. Don't you keep me waiting. Admit it, you did it. You got me feeling something kind of vicious, delicious. But boy, I promise I won't do your dishes. Honey, write that down. Oh, now take a picture. You see me now?
Him a big buck. Me and Howard, we falls in love. And we thinking we gonna get us hitched. Now, Massa let a few of the slaves be getting hitched and jump the broom, so we ain't think nothing of it. Then we jump the broom, so we go to old Massa and we say, we wants to get hitched. But old Massa, he said, nah. Cause see, for Massa, I be his favorite, and he ain't letting me go. Now, way back when, Massa had done made me a promise when I had little Liza Jane that he'd never sell her away from me. But me and Howard, we upset about we can't get hitched. So we gets it in our minds that we gonna run off and take little Liza Jane with us. So we gets together one day and we run off. But old Massa, he catches. And Lord, the pain and the suffering that come thereafter. They takes my Howard and they beats him. They beats him raw and they pour salt into the wounds. Then that didn't satisfy old Massa though. They hung up my Howard. They hung him by his neck. And then they set him afire. And Massa make me watch. But I ain't turned my head. I stands there and I watches. And I watch the whole thing. And I stand there and I watch till the flesh peel off his bone. But I don't turn away. And he about got me when I hear Howard call out my name. Savannah! But I don't cry. But that make old Massa mad. So what he did then, he take my little Liza Jane and he promised me he won't sell her, but he sold her away from me. And she hold me around my neck and she say, Mama, please, Mama, please. I don't want to go, but it wasn't nothing I could do. I still remember the smell of her hair as she lay her cheek side of mine. but they take my license. Now I be about 30 some odd years later. We all gets the news that we's free. We's free now. So the first thing I gets in my mind to do, I'm gonna go find my Liza Jane. And I gonna be her mama again. So I go run. I ain't packed me nothing. I ain't got no food. I ain't got nothing. But I's got my dream of my Liza Jane. So I remembers that master they sold her off to, and I asked round where he be at. And it take me a long time to find that plantation. But when I do, I gets there and I ask around, has anybody seen Liza Jane? Oh, she be about 35 now. But that's when they tell me, oh, you mean that little girl? Way back when she come in. Well, they ain't keep her no more than about a month, and she be sold off again. It broke my heart. Now what I gonna do? I's free, but I ain't got my Liza Jane.
Thanks for putting your recyclables in the blue cart.
And keeping contamination out.
Thanks for using our curbside oil recycling service.
Thanks for putting your carts clear of vehicles, trees, mailboxes, and portable basketball hoops.
Thanks for spacing your carts 3 feet apart.
Thanks for putting your carts back when we're done with them.
We are the City of Fresno,
Providing life's essential services.
To meet state-mandated water cuts during this drought, we all need to use less water.
Start by knowing your 2 outdoor watering days. Odd addresses on Tuesday and Saturday, and evens on Wednesday and Sunday.
Then, cut your watering times in half. And if you see problems with city sprinklers, let us know.
We're all in this together, and together is the only way we can meet our goal.
So this summer, don't frown on brown, because a brown lawn is a responsible lawn.
A message from the City of Fresno.
Opportunity to say a few words to him. All the words flew out of my head, and all I can say was, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. President. And for those brief moments that I was with him, he made me believe that I was the only one in this universe. So it was a great experience. Great experience.
Still don't get it what you keep up, please. We ain't no heroes for selling. If I want better keep your receipts. Okay, I get it. I know what they're thinking. We some kumbaya singing. Corny Christians, keep your dishes. Buy a ticket to a concert. Pay a visit. Think it's odd. We them Blues Brothers. 116 on a mission from God. Take to the second letter. Oh no, pretty go-go. Them boys sold out, no promo. Tell me give it 2 years, it'll go cold. But they words got 8 like
whether it be soda, some of the fruit drinks, even sweetened tea. It's giving people a visual of how much sugar they actually drink. Because people, when you're drinking sugary beverages, you don't pay attention to the sugar or even the calories because you don't get full off of a drink. Versus food, you get full off of it. So this is just to give people a reminder that drinks help to increase the amount of calories.
Bus to see what had happened. And one of the ladies said it was the state highway patrolman and the chief of police ordered us out. I got back on the bus. One of the persons who used the washroom got back on the bus too. As soon as I was sitting in my seat, I began to see when they put the 4 people in the state highway patrolman's car. I stepped off the bus to see what was happening. And someone from the car yelled, "Get out of there!" And when I went to get in the car, and the man told me I was under arrest, he kicked me. I was hurt to the county jail and placed into the booking room. Then after the people in the booking room began to place themselves. I was placed in the cell with a young woman called Miss Ivesson Simpson.
Can you say yes, sir? Can you say yes, sir?
Yes, I can say yes.
What does it say?
They beat her I don't know how long, and after a while she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. And it wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. And one of these men was state highway patrolman.
I was born a black boy. My name is Emmett Till. I walked this earth 14 years ago, and then one night I was killed. I was speaking to a woman whose skin was white as snow. That's the sin of Mississippi, but how was I to know? I come down to Chicago to visit my kids. There, I was a teeny kid. I guess I've always been. If the harmony for the county was too hard for what I've done, for I was a black boy. I never learned it.
This is a multidisciplinary art project that we've been working on all year long. And so these pieces of art that we see here are woodblock prints, and they're carved from 4-foot by 8-foot blocks and then printed. And so there's 9 of them there going over some of the history of civil rights. Leading up to the focus of our project was the Mississippi Freedom Summer 1964. And Ms. Ketchum's group, they developed this bust, which is a metaphor for the journey. And you see some of the portraits there of people that took that journey. Was the fact that, you know, we can tell our students and teach them about nonviolent protest. And not only that, what really struck me was all the young people that took part in this project in 1964 were not much older than my high school students. So they showed a lot of courage, faced even death, but they still went down to make a difference, and guess what? It worked.
Thanks for putting your recyclables in the blue cart.
And keeping contamination out.
Thanks for using our curbside oil recycling service.
Thanks for putting your carts clear of vehicles, trees, mailboxes, and portable basketball hoops.
Thanks for spacing your carts 3 feet apart.
Thanks for putting your carts back when we're done with them.
We are the City of Fresno.
Providing life's essential services.
To meet state-mandated water cuts during this drought, we all need to use less water.
Start by knowing your 2 outdoor watering days. Odd addresses on Tuesday and Saturday, and evens on Wednesday and Sunday.
Then, cut your watering times in half. And if you see problems with city sprinklers, let us know.
We're all in this together, and together is the only way we can meet our goal.
So this summer, don't frown on brown, because a brown lawn is a responsible lawn.
A message from the City of Fresno.
Moving in the right direction. He did talk about partnering with the different mayors from all the different cities. He also talked about the My Brothers Keepers program. Where is that at now, and how can people assist in that effort?
So the My Brothers Keeper has taken a very interesting turn. The president has taken that out of his staff as far as White House staff, and really turned that over to the hands of the private sector, which I believe was always the intent. I think that he needed the horsepower of the White House to get it off the ground, but if he wanted it to survive, it can never be subject to the whims of a president or Congress.
I see.
So what he's done is he's taken it out of the hands of the White House very recently and put it in the hands of the private sector. So we are now waiting to see what that partnership is going to look like. So in a sense, we're in a little state of transition, and I'm waiting to really get with how we implement that. But it has been told to me and communicated very strongly to me, even as early as Friday, that the My Brothers Keeper initiative is the president's top priority. And this will be what he does when he leaves office. He's very passionate about My Brothers Keeper and believes that this will be his life's work.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's very, very serious. And like I said, I mean, I didn't realize the level of priority he gave it, but the fact that he moved it out of the White House when he did lets me know where his commitment is to it. He doesn't want it to be subject to politics, and very, very smart. And he has the ability now, while he's still president, to lock in and bring in private sector partners who can hopefully be longtime funders of some of the initiatives.
Julie, were you going to say something?
No, just that. So it's a good thing that
Right.
it's not a negative thing. It's a good thing that he.
For sure. Because anytime, and that's why I think I knew that it was serious for him when he did that, because we all know every few years we're going to get a new president, and what if the next president doesn't care about my brother?
Right.
Then what happens, right? Then all of the effort, all of the work that we put into that, it just goes by the wayside. And we know how presidents come in and they want to have their own program.
Sure.
So he doesn't want it to be subject to the whims of another president or to the whims of Congress should they decide they don't want to, be a part of this anymore. So the fact that he is still involved, but he took it out of the government's hands, out of his White House administration's hands, is a very, very serious strategic move, in my opinion.
He is. Basically, she's just a liar.
Yeah, I
And it's
mean,
not
you can't switch up. Just like when the one of the local stations asked me, how do I feel about the situation? I said, well, here's the thing. I'm black 24/7.
Yeah.
I can't change my skin tone.
Yeah, you can't rub that off?
Last I checked, I tried scrubbing. Nope. All I did was scrub the dirt off. So I'm saying this to say that when you go into a black university, Howard University, as a white woman, because that's what she did, and said discrimination against a white woman, at a black college, and then you want to switch up and be black. That's the problem that I had, and that's what I don't think Mel understood that when I was talking about that, because I already knew that information. Some people didn't know that information.
Yeah.
And there's a number of other things as well.
There's a number of other things. That's what I have an issue with the Howard lawsuit. I have an issue with that, but you know, supposedly her suit was she had received a scholarship, I think, and then they ended up taking some of the money, and she said, wait, why are you taking it? And they said, well, we feel there's students who need it more. And she said, wait a minute. Okay, so I think it's smarmy for her to have initiated a lawsuit, but, you know, be that
as a white woman, though. That's very important you say that.
Exactly. Right. At a black school, which she knew she would go. You don't go to Howard by accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you switch up to be black so you can get a scholarship. That's the problem I have.
But portraying herself as African American to be elected or appointed to the police review board, just for that matter, portraying herself to be African American to be a member of the NAACP, which she didn't have to do, right? She could have been white and been a member of the NAACP.
And a part of the NAACP.
Yeah, what I have come to see
fact,
over the
Mel
week is she's
said
just,
that it was the white. I guess it was some of the Caucasian people that stepped
that
up to start
initiated the NAACP.
That's right.
Yeah, originated. So
that's why you got to change your color to be that.
Yeah, you don't. So now I'm thinking she's just a person who has a lot of trouble with the truth.
And so I want to first give light to the people that did die. So you did have the Reverend Pickney, okay? And he was one of the 9 victims that was shot, 41 years old. And he's also the state senator in South Carolina.
And I believe the father of 2 or 3 children.
Right. Why did he deserve this? In God's home, he allowed, or not allowed, just opened up his doors, opened up his home, and welcomed someone else from the outside. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's what churches are supposed to do. So can we blame them if they shut the doors on people that they think just might be a terrorist? And that's a scary thought. And so he was shot. And he received Pickney received his first appointment to pastor when he was 18 years old. And by age 23, he was elected to the South Carolina House of Representatives. And by 27, he became South Carolina's youngest state senator. Wow. These are things we want to remember. Pickney was only 41 years old, born in 1973 in Jasper County in South Carolina. His parents were divorced when he was in 4th grade. 4 generations of Amy.